Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. The title of our today's video is How to Create Zoho Project Task from Google Sheets. So I'm running a business and I'm using Google Sheets to add task details for my employees. So I wish that as soon as a new task detail is added in my Google Sheets, automatically a task should be created in Zoho Projects. For this, we are going to create a connection between Google Sheets and Zoho Projects. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So in Pabbly, we have the concept of trigger and action. For trigger, we are going to use Google Sheets, and for action, we are using Zoho Projects. So if you also wish to learn this process step by step, follow me through the screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we are going to learn how to create Zoho Project tasks from Google Sheets. So for this we are going to create a connection between our Zoho Projects and Google Sheets. To create this connection without knowing any coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So as you can see that this is the landing page of Pabbly, and I opened it just by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is so simple. So as soon as we'll open the landing page of Pabbly, we'll get two options. One is sign up for free and the another one is sign in. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you'll get 100 of tasks free every month. But I am an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in this video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting to application which is Zoho Projects and Google Sheets. So I'm going to click on Access now. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with the automation I'm going to click on this button right over here which says Create Workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as How to Create Zoho Project Tasks from Google Sheets. And now we are going to click on Create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, that is our workflow window. This is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. By this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the command. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now we are going to select our trigger application, which is Google Sheets. So I'm selecting Google Sheets right over here because I want that as soon as a new row is updated in my Google Sheets, automatically this workflow should be triggered. And now for the trigger event, I'm going to select new or updated spreadsheet row. And as you can see that it is giving me a webhook URL. So I'm going to copy this URL and go to my Google Sheets account. And as you can see that this is my Google Sheet, and to connect this with my workflow, I'm going to go on extensions and then add-ons and then get add-ons. Over here, we are going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'll search for it and open it. And yes, you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. So if you wish to install this, you can click on install right over here. After installing this, again you have to go on extensions and then you'll get an option of Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. So you have to go on initial setups. And then it will ask you for a webhook URL and the trigger column. So for the webhook URL, we are going to paste the URL we copied from our workflow. And for the trigger column, we are going to enter the last column in which our data has been added. Over here you can see it's D. So I'm going to enter D right over here. And then we are going to click on submit. And then you can see that we have successfully submitted this. This means that we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now we are going to click on send test. And yes, you can see test data sent successfully. So I'm going back to my workflow and checking that if Pabbly has captured the response or not. And yes, you can see Pabbly has captured the response. Here's the task name, the task description, the start date, and also the due date, which is our end date. So this means that our trigger step is successful, and now we are moving on to our action step. So for our action application, we are going to select Zoho Projects right over here because I want that as soon as a new Google Sheet row is added, automatically a task should be created in my Zoho Projects. So I'm going to select this. And for the action event, we are going to select Create a Task. And then we are going to click on Connect. And as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Zoho Projects account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to click on add a new connection and then connect with Zoho Projects. And then it is asking me to enter the domain name. So for this, I'm going to open my Zoho Projects account. And over here, you can see that this is my URL and zoho.in is my domain name. So I'm going to copy this domain name and paste it in my workflow. And you can see that your domain name can be zoho.com, zoho.eu, zoho.in, zoho.com.au too. So one of these would be your domain name. And now after entering my, I'm going to click on save. And then it is asking me for some permissions. So I'm going to click on accept because Pabbly is secure and my data is secure with Pabbly. So you can also click on accept because Pabbly is safe. And yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our Zoho Projects account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me the portal ID. So for that, I'm going to select pabblytudes.com only. And for the project ID, I'm going to select PC1. For the task name, task description, start date and end date, we are going to map these details from the response of our Google Sheets. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our Google Sheets which was our trigger application. So I'm going to open my response and over here you can see the task name. So I'm going to map this. And then we are doing same for the task description. So now it is asking me for the start date and end date. So we are going to map this but not from our Google Sheets response. First we are going to see the format of our dates. So as you can see that this is the format of our dates, but we want the dates in this format. So we are going to first convert our dates into the desired format. So for this we are going to add an action step which is date time formatter. So for the application, I am selecting date time formatter. It is a feature offered by Pabbly. And for the action event, I am going to select format date only because I only want to format the dates. And then we are going to click on connect. And now it is asking me the date. So I'm going to enter the date. I'm going to map it from the Google Sheets. I'll map the start date. And for the for format, I'll leave it as it is. And for the to format, I'm going to enter the to format, which is this month, date, year. And now after entering both, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received the date in our desired format. And now we are going to do this for the end date too. So first we are going to clone this step. I'll click on clone step. And then we are just going to change the start date with the due date right from here. So I'm going to delete this and map the due date from my Google Sheets response. And then again, we are going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received the due date also in our desired format. So now we are going back to our Zoho Projects. And over here, we are going to map the start date and the end date with the date time formatter. So I'm going to open this and map the result of the start date and same for the end date. Now after mapping all these details have become dynamic and these details will change as soon as I update a new row in my Google Sheets. So now these details are ready to run in real time. And now we are going to select the task list ID, which is task list only. And for the person responsible, I'm going to select this. After that, it is asking me for the priority. So I'm going to keep this task in a medium priority. You can select the priority as you desire. After selecting and mapping all these details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that our task is created in Zoho Projects. So I'm going to open my Zoho Projects and check that if the task is being created or not. We are going to open our task list. And yes, you can see creative due, owner, start date, due date, and the duration has been created in our Zoho Projects too. This means that our workflow and our automation is successful. So I'll just try the workflow for you once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. I'm going to open my Google Sheets, enter the another task name as approval due. For the task description, I'll write get the approval for creative created. For the start date, I'm going to keep it as 10th of May 2024. And for the due date, it is 12th of May. So I'm going to enter the date of 12th of May. So now after again filling in the details, I'm going back to my Zoho projects and checking that if we have received a new task created with the same task description, same task name, same start date and same due date or not. This time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. We'll directly open our Zoho projects. And yes, you can see task approval due, the start date, the due date and the duration. So this means that our workflow is successful. So I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For a trigger application, we selected Google Sheets. For a trigger event, we selected new or updated spreadsheet rows. We connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly's workflow by pasting the webhook URL in the extensions. And over here, you have to keep in mind that you have to always switch on this button, which is send on event. And then for the action step, we selected Zoho Projects. And for the action event, we selected create a task. But the date we wrote in our Google Sheets was not in the desired format. So we added 2 more action steps to convert that date into the desired format. One for the start date and one for the end date or the due date. So with this, our automation and our workflow is successful. So if you have any query related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone the workflow and share the workflow link in the description box. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.